Oh, welcome into Sorare in the States football MLS Cup. Orlando City is freaking massive. I don't know. I was lost for words. I was like, how do I include Orlando City in the intro? And I have nothing else to say. But Orlando City is going to the Eastern Conference Final, baby. This is our year. Y'all.
Hosting the Eastern Conference
The
Final.
Eastern freaking Conference Final. It is a great time to be alive. And it's even better because I got Chris, the MLS card guy, here with me to talk about all the MLS that he watched. Of course, you know, he's locked in, loaded, and ready to go. So, Chris, how the heck are you? It's playoffs, baby. It's almost over.
Does the numbers 1 and 0 mean anything to you? I don't know. I doubt Thomas is in this stream because he's probably doing better things like working.
It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Ain't nobody working.
That's true. Nobody working. But yeah, 1-0, baby. Come at us, CPL. Maybe they would have done better if it was played in Canada. You know.
Oh, okay. All right. Calm
CPL
down.
scout out here.
We're not starting this.
Fighting
Canada
Brad
talk
Guzan's go down. How sad would you be though if Orlando ended Brad Guzan's career with that game? He just says,
we ended Dax McCarty's career. Dax McCarty's career. Just saying.
I mean, Orlando just kills all the good MLS players. Breck Shea, Dax McCarty, just kill them all. You know,
legends. Nani.
Nani.
Nani's on a mission to play in every league in the world, man. He's still playing. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great weekend. Love to see it. Looking forward to seeing the Eastern Conference Finals. I think we're a little bit surprised LAFC going down, top seed in the West.
Yeah.
Couldn't hang with the boys from Seattle. They kicked it on. They pulled a Seattle this year, huh? They're back in the Western Conference Final.
Dude, it took the stoppage time. We'll get into that. We'll talk about all these dudes. The playoffs from the beginning to end has just been upsets, crazy nonsense. I don't think anybody could have predicted these Final Four. We have New York Red Bulls, Orlando City, Seattle Sounders, and of course the LA Galaxy, who was supposed to be rebuilding this year. And all of a sudden they were like, hey, why don't we just win the whole freaking thing, baby?
Hey, so, that's what happens when you have Ricky Puig on your team, you know?
Yeah,
you go sign Gabby Peck and got Paintsel. I mean, who thought they were rebuilding? That's my question. They just never had a defense, but if you score 6 goals, you don't really got to play much defense. You know, it's all good.
Who cares?
It's all good.
Who cares about defense? They can just score all the goals. But yeah, we're going to get into
I just want to point out real quick before we get started of this whole playoff picture. The last 8 teams that were left, so 4 of them are already out, right? But the last 8 teams, the top 3 seeds in both conferences only had 2 of the 6 teams make the last 8. Everybody else got knocked out in round 1. It was just absurd. And now the number 1 seed is out in the West too. So we got 2 4s, a 7, and a 2. So this is why we do MLS playoffs and not just award Man City the Premier League trophy every single year. Because it's just more fun this way. It's more chaotic and no one knows what the heck's going to happen. Is this the best way to determine the best team? Absolutely not. It's not. But we're going to determine the team that has the cup at the end. So that's, I guess, the important thing.
Yo, I just want to shout out Mike Basson, who is always in the chat. Shout out Mike Basson, one of our biggest fans. But the Champions League is on, so I get it. That's why that's right. Our viewer count's going to be low because of Champions League. I knew Champions League was going on right now. I totally freaking knew.
See, my thought was you put us on one, and then you put a Champions League game on the other, and just put the sound down so you can hear us and then watch the Champions League game. You know what I mean?
It depends on who's playing, though. It depends on who's playing. Because sometimes you got to lock in.
A lot of good teams going. A lot of good teams.
Yeah, I tried to multitask sometimes, and it just doesn't really work out. I end up doing nothing at all. Like when I have like 4 games on, I'm on Twitter, like I'm texting other people, and like I end up watching absolutely nothing. So, but yo, shout out to everybody watching Champions League. I hope you have a good time. We'll be here when you give back. Don't worry. We'll embrace you with open arms. But Chris, what was the best thing that you saw this past weekend? What was your favorite thing, your little inkling, the thing that really stuck out to you? And that's where we'll start today.
I mean, the best thing I saw was Minnesota get absolutely pummeled, like 6-2. And I don't know that it was even that close. One
was a penalty.
My Lord, the LA Galaxy are just rolling right now. I don't know how anybody's going to stop that. I mean, there's 5 guys in there that could probably play Champions League and kind of just be BK, you know? They all play in the attack. So, I mean, if you can get the ball to John McCarthy, then you can probably score on him. But at this point, that's kind of an issue, is just getting the ball back. They're terrifying. I don't know how anyone's going to stop them. Seattle's going to take the next crack at it, but now the road to MLS Cup final goes through Dignity Health Sports Park. So, yeesh.
Yeah. On top of that, not only that, but LA Galaxy will be hosting MLS Cup, obviously, unless they lose to Seattle. And LA Galaxy are undefeated at home this year, too. So,
Yeah.
just to make it a little bit harder to defend against this team that just put up 6 against Minnesota United in the playoffs, mind you.
To be fair, you don't have to beat them. You just have to tie them and get to penalties and win on penalties. But yeah, it is going to be a definite challenge to try and outscore this team. And Seattle is ahead of Orlando, right? The West hosts either way.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to the West.
Yeah.
Minnesota was our only hope, and
right.
clearly,
and they got smoked. Yeah.
That
dream
lasted for like 30 minutes.
To be fair, Minnesota isn't the best playoff team of all time. So, like, I think this will be a significant step up in competition for the Galaxy,
right?
To play Seattle, but I mean, they're way too hot, man. Like, it's really not fair. It's really not fair. They've scored 10 goals in their last 2 games.
Dude, not only that, when they beat Colorado, they scored what?
So it was 4-1 and 5-0. So they've scored 15 in their last 3, I guess. They're averaging 5 goals a game in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And they've only conceded. So, granted, like, Colorado's kind of in shambles. Minnesota isn't that great. So, like,
right.
But, like, we're talking about a Seattle team that had to beat Houston on penalties because Hector Herrera doesn't know doesn't know manners, you know? So, yeah. I mean, I think it's a pretty heavy LA Galaxy favored MLS Cup at this point, but we've seen craziness. So, who knows? These are all one-off games, you know?
Yeah. Who's to say they can't get it done? But it's insane, though. Just like, not only did they score 6-2 is freaking crazy, but Paintsill, Joveljic, and Peck both on a brace. The front 3 of this team both on a brace, and it could have been more. Peck missed a penalty, so he could have had a hat trick. Like, it wasn't just like, this could have been a lot more. And it's incredible. It's incredible form. Ricky just kind of sat back, just pinged beautiful sex balls the entire game. And you still have Marco Royce on here. He's been coming off the bench. Like, not even that.
Yeah, you got Fagundes coming off the bench. Like, hey, I know you're tired, but here comes Diego Fagundes, who was like Austin's only good piece when they were second in the Western Conference. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. You know, they scored 6 goals in only 89 minutes too. So they had stoppage time to rack up a couple more, and they took their foot off the gas a little. So Brugman off the bench, Delgado off the bench. Like,
yeah, that's insane depth coming off the bench.
That's just not fair. I'd love to see their salary cap, because, like, what's going on here? Wow, they have all these guys for pennies on the dollar.
It's a new era of MLS, baby. We are here in a new era. But yeah, dude, shout out to LA Galaxy. I do think they are favorites. This game is insane. The goals were insane. I mean, the through passes were insane. Like, if you haven't already, go watch the highlights of this game, because it's just the LA Galaxy's playing on another level. And on the other side, Minnesota, man, like, dude, they got hot at the end of the season. They made some mid-season acquisitions, especially on the back of Calvin Yavoa, Pereira, Diaz. Like, they brought in good pieces. They brought in a new coach a couple weeks into the season and really turned this around. So, nice little ending, right? Nice little run to end the season. But I'm definitely thinking this Minnesota team next season might be one to look out for, because especially in the attack, man. Calvin, since he came into the league, like, he proved that he could score goals. They just got to do something about the back line, man. You look at that defense, you're like, I don't know who any of these people are. And I think today they didn't re-sign Rosales, or they did sign Rosales. I think that was a big one that I saw. So this team's going to look a little different next season, but definitely one that's a little high up on my list of teams that I'm looking for next season.
Assuming they move Pookie's salary too, probably have some chips to play with. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think they need. I mean, I love Hassani Dodson as a player, but I think they need, like, a little bit more in midfield between him and Trapp.
That's old MLS.
Yeah, that would have been really good like 3 years ago. But, like, look at the team they went up against, and they got smoked in the midfield. So, yeah, I mean, again, you're talking about depth, like Tanguy off the bench, Song Bin off the bench. So, like, got a little bit of depth and some pieces to work with, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be it's going to be tough for Minnesota to really challenge like some of these big market teams. They're never going to have the spend power to go get those Pujas and Royces and Joveliches and Pecks.
Yeah. And Puj just signed an extension. Paintsel just got here. Jovelich going to be here for a while. Peck, I mean, everyone thinks he's going to get sold, but hey, why wouldn't they try to keep him? Pay him a little bit longer. He's only like, 22, 23? Like, just pay him.
I mean, you could just pay him, or on the other side, you could sell him and take the ridiculous amount of money that you're going to get and then go get, some more pieces for the back line. Like, instead of Yoshida being 135 years old. I mean, here's the crazy thing. They have Jalen Neal, too. Like, they have...
Yeah. And he's not even playing anymore.
They got dudes, like, they can't even get him in the game. So, yeah. Maybe a goalkeeper and some center backs would be helpful.
What is it? Nelson came into the season, too. John Nelson came in. He had a really good season. Player.
He come from Red Bulls?
Is that where he came from? Yes.
I think he came from Red Bulls.
I mean, there's some in A in there, 10, 17, 16. He can do it. Add those decisives on there, then we're talking. Maybe he did come from the Red Bulls. I don't remember.
I swear I remember him from somewhere else.
We can find out if you go back far. No, St. Louis? Oh, he was in St. Louis before this. In Cincinnati. Came from Cincinnati. FC Dallas. Oh, he's been around. He's been around for a little bit.
That's where I remember from.
But, yeah, I mean, he's been great. Yeah, this LA Galaxy team right now, incredible. And shout out to ZM Star. Go check him out on our basketball show from last night.
One of the fun part, I watched that. I was on basketball. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't watching live, but I did watch it, and I didn't
know what the heck was going on.
I'm playing basketball, so that's fun.
Let's go, Chris, the NBA guy, coming next week when it's not a holiday weekend. Let's go, baby. We love to see it. Congratulations, but not really congratulations to the LA Galaxy, because I might have to watch you beat me and beat our team.
I don't know. Those Purple Warriors are gonna have something to say about it.
We might. But hey, let's go to the other side of this bracket in the West and go to the Seattle Sounders and LAFC. Don Garber was still trying to wipe his tears from Miami going out and having to say bye to Messi. And guess what? You better get another box of Kleenex, baby, because LAFC is also going home. They signed Carlos Vela in the summer. Big splash signing to get him to the end. And I don't think he saw the field once. I don't even think he was at this game. If I remember, I saw a tweet. Carlos Vela wasn't even in the building for this game.
It's crazy.
Now the LA Galaxy. Olivier Giroud ends his first season in MLS without a single goal in Major League Soccer. He scored in the Open Cup final. He scored in the Leagues Cup final, whatever. He scores in big moments, but not the one that mattered. Not the big boy competition, MLS Cup. Giroud, no goals on the season. Buanga had a rough end to the year. Seattle completely shut him down. Is Olivier Giroud a bust in MLS?
No, not yet. It can take guys 6 months to get acclimated to the travel and all that fun stuff. And I mean, this is a guy that's been around the world kind of doing his thing and playing in big moments. So I do expect him to be good when they need him to be good. It is going to be difficult at his age to really produce at a high level. Like I don't think we're talking about like a Puig or somebody else like that. But like, I mean, I do expect more than what he showed in this first 6 months. Like more than this, I would expect more of like this type of thing where maybe a goal every other game ish.
Like 100, 110 minutes maybe.
Yeah, so I mean he's not playing 90 like pretty much ever. He's probably going to end up being like a flex like starter sub, I would guess, next year. But I would still expect to see a significantly more amount of goals than this. So I mean we'll see how it goes. He is 38, but it's a tough league, man. It's tough to come in. Just because you've been playing in Europe forever doesn't mean you can come in and just hang out. And he also doesn't fit their style. Like he's not a counterattack guy. So I think the fit is more the concern than the player, if I'm being honest.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you flip flop him and Suarez, I think he does fine in Miami. Just not not in LA. Like
Just
I don't think I don't think that makes sense. But I still expect him to score a couple of goals. So we'll see.
No, I agree. And like when you were talking about that, the first thing that came to my mind was like, yeah, this team before that was very counterattacking. You'd have unleash Bogusz and Kiki Oliveira and Bouanga just up the wings and just let them run, do the counterattack thing. And then Giroud doesn't fit that. You would have thought someone like Tarundalo would have figured that out. I mean, he did show up a little bit late. It was after Leagues Cup. It was like very end of the window, like probably one of the last ones to show up.
Yeah.
So
he didn't get into a game until mid-August.
Yeah. So was a little late in the season, but now that they have a long summer while he's hanging out on Venice Beach, they're gonna have some time to rebuild this squad. Obviously, they're gonna have some outgoing transfers. They're gonna bring more people in. Now they're already talking about Griezmann coming to LAFC next year. So this team's gonna look different, and maybe they do build around Giroud. Kind of, hey, you're gonna stay, and then decide to change things up, and then build it around him to like kind of unleash him a little bit. Because there were moments.
It's really tough to build around a 38-year-old, though. You know?
Yeah. I
mean, unless he's Messi. I mean,
so they go get Tata Martino, is what you're saying?
Yeah. No, actually, like that would kind of make sense. Like a much more. And Tarundalo did this like a couple years ago. They were like his first year. They were a very possession-based team. Right. So it's not like they couldn't change it back. That was not what made them successful this year. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, Bogusz, she's a young player that has a lot of eyes in Europe now. Obviously, Kiki Oliveira was coming off the bench. He's been playing for Uruguay. Like he actually plays for the national team, so he has eyes on him too. So I assume this team will look a little different. There's the question mark of Bouanga. We don't know what's going to happen with that. Oh, I meant to pull it up. Dang it! Did you see the Aaron Long bicycle kick attempt?
No, I didn't see
because it was so good. I'm so upset it didn't go in.
Oh, man,
dude, Aaron Long almost had his playoff moment to win. It would have been the game winner at the time because obviously Jordan Morris won 2-1 in stoppage time, very late.
Right.
But dude, it was a beautiful setup. He like popped it up to himself. Dude,
I would have loved to see Aaron Long make the final and then knock Red Bulls out so that they don't get their first title because of Aaron Long. Obviously won't happen at this point, but that would have been just like peak Aaron Long can retire now. Yeah, it was that would have been fun.
All right, hold on. I got it pulled up right here. So it was off a corner, right? Share. Watch him. Pops it up to himself. Bop! Like,
no.
Oh, dude, that would have gone in. And Stephen Fry sees it late, too. Like, if he just would have got a little...
He needed more on it.
If he would have got a little bit more on it, like, dude, that's money.
Jackson Reagan is just like, what do I do with this?
That is a center back, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who's watching on YouTube, I got the clip pulled up. Yeah. He, it would have been awesome. Aaron Long almost had an incredible moment. I definitely wanted to get that pulled up for you because obviously the world's greatest Aaron Long fan would appreciate that.
Yeah. Would have been a shining moment. Wouldn't have been his best moment of his career. He's had too many good ones.
I don't know, man. Just the way he pops it up to himself, sets it up, and like you can see it's a center back. Like he is so focused. He's like, don't fuck this up. Don't mess this up. And great stuff though. Goalkeeper of the year, Stephen Fry though. Incredible defense for this Seattle team. But yeah, rest in peace, LAFC. We'll see you next year. We'll see what you look like next year.
Speaking of Stephen Fry, I can remember year one of this podcast, which I think this was like, year 3 now? Year one of this podcast, we all bought Stephen Cleveland because we were sure Stephen Fry was going to retire.
Yep.
And my man is still kicking. If he gets an MLS Cup, he's got to go, right? Like,
I don't know, man. The way he's playing,
at some point, like you're just too old, you know.
I don't know, man. Brad Guzan, he took down Miami and they re-signed him for another year. He keeps on keeping on. While we're on this topic, though, Mike Baston wants to know: DC dumped both of their keepers. Chris, y'all have no goalkeepers right now.
Yeah, that's great.
Is Bill Hamid coming back?
We have already. So Bill Hamid got cut from Memphis, who is no longer a team anymore. So I'm gonna guess no. Bill's doing other things other than playing soccer at this point. He's trying to be in the community. But cutting both goalkeepers does improve our goalkeeper room because now we have 0 instead of big negatives. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see who they pick up and who they grab. I mean, I don't have any inside information as of yet, but it'll be interesting to see how they go through this off season and what they kind of look like. I mean, we'll get into off season and player moves and stuff after the playoffs when everybody's got their stuff finalized. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how they rebuild it because this is the first off season in a while where you feel like they've got a few pieces to build around now. So like, yeah, maybe we'll do something right for once.
You won't, but okay.
Probably not. Probably not.
Right. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. But yeah, shout out to Seattle Sounders having incredible defense. Jackson Reagan continues to be incredible.
He's the best defender in the league.
Incredible stuff.
It's not fair.
Like he's just been scoring crazy without decisives. Yamar took a little bit of knock in this game. They said they don't really know how serious it is. It's going to watch. Nuhu got sick away on international duty, so he wasn't quite back yet. He's back now, but they're monitoring that. So defensively, they might be a little questionable, which is not something you want to hear when you have to play LA Galaxy in a couple days. But dude, Seattle, they much like Orlando had a terrible start to the season. It was slow, it was rough. It was a perfect Brian Smetzer Seattle way. And then they got hot at the end of the season. They've just been on this magical run of form. Their defense obviously keeping them in. Jordan Morris got a little cold towards the end of the season. But obviously ends up getting the game winner in this one. So they're showing some life, man. I don't know if they're going to outscore LA Galaxy, but watching the tactical battle between LA Galaxy and Seattle and how Brian Smetzer decides he wants to shut down Pooge, Peck, and Painesville. That'll be fun to watch, man.
Best of luck. I mean, if there's someone that can do it, it's Seattle. To be fair, like they have probably the best defense and they're the most tactically diverse defense. We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not gonna like be any more optimistic than that just because like 15 goals in 3 games, like even if you shut them down, they probably still score tough. 3 goals. So
that's tough.
I can't see Seattle scoring 3 goals in this game. There's just, I mean, they're not even gonna look at John McCarthy 3 times in this game. So yeah. Going back to goalkeeper though, DC did sign Tampa Bay Rowdy's goalkeeper.
Oh, gross.
So
there's one.
We're off and running in the DC room. I do hope he's not the starter, but we at least have somebody.
Hey, you got to start at the bench, right? You build out the bench and then you build up from there.
He's a decent like fill in like backup goalkeeper. So
right.
Fine with that.
Wasn't there a goalkeeper that got let go today? I think I saw it.
Oh, there's all kinds of moves flying in here, there, and
dude.
everywhere. Tom Bogart's loving his life, you know. Friend of the show.
Everybody go turn on those Tom Bogart notifications because things are flying thick and fast. Apparently, if you get knocked out of the playoffs, you got to fire your coach because someone named Jim Curtin is on the market, and we're all trying to get him. R.I.P. Nick Cushing, R.I.P. Vandy Sartini.
Yeah, it is going to be very interesting to see where these coaches land because there are a lot of big name coaches on the market. So
they're good coaches.
And that changes the entire landscape of a team, you know? Like, look at Ben Olsen at Houston, right? Like, that, I mean, he doesn't really have more talent. He's just a better coach than the hodgepodge of other coaches that they've had throughout the time there. So, yeah, it's going to be real interesting to watch those offseason moves and, like, who we pick up during the offseason. Coaching is such an underrated part. Right. It's like, that's where I'm going to start my base, right?
There's kind of a shuffle in the front offices going on right now too, which is kind of cool.
Right. I would say coaching matters more than front office, to be fair, at this point in the league, but it does matter. Like it definitely does matter. And as far as who I would want it to be, I want it to be Gigi Buffon. That's who I want DC Gigi Buffon obviously is not happening, but I think he would be better at 43 or whatever he is now than anybody that we've ever had.
It was freaking Steve Clark. Houston declined Steve Clark's option. Steve Clark to DC United,
that's sad.
baby.
That's sad.
I know. I was actually kind of bummed. Steve Clark had a good year.
Yeah, he did. He's a very well. Any goalkeeper in Ben Olsen's system is gonna have decent Sorare numbers. Like they're gonna get a lot of saves, and they're not gonna give up a ton of goals. So
because they're usually solid in front of them.
Right. Whoever, but they allow shots, just not shots from close. So like it's the perfect Sorare defense. Right. So yeah, whoever ends up getting that job, that's a really, really big one to kind of watch and look at who goes there.
Shout out to Boston Sean coming in with the jokes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know. I keep finding these random people out in the street, and I'm like, hey, you want to come on and talk to me so I look like I have friends? And they do. It's crazy. I don't know how it keeps happening, but
we have so many friends. So many friends.
Oh my god, there's so many. All right. Before we leave the West, Chris, I mean, I think we kind of know the answer, but who is winning the Western Conference Final? Will it be the hot flying LA Galaxy, or will it be the stout defensive Seattle Sounders?
Give me the Galaxy. We're gonna extend the record of MLS Cups. So it's just another one that DC United has to make up to catch them, which is sad.
No, I agree. My heart is telling me Seattle Sounders because I would much rather play Seattle than I would LA Galaxy. But my head is telling me, dude, there's nobody stopping. There's nobody stopping LA Galaxy right now. Holy shit!
I'm here.
Oh my lord!
Oh, Alex himself. Alex, who is winning?
Are you in the basketball arena?
This dude out here, shoot around from Is You, bro.
Shoot around was earlier. We got a little break.
This is press conference time, right?
Boston Sean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize Liverpool and Real Madrid were playing until Mike Baston came in and said, "I love you guys, but you're not better than Champions League."
I knew Champions League was on.
I did not. I did not.
You guys don't have midweek teams?
Yeah, you must not be playing rivals very well.
Oh, dude, ever since, and you know this, when the NBA starts, soccer is the last thing on my mind. Like I'm like making my way through the playoffs, but dude, I am full hoops head sicko mode right now. Alex, we just got done talking about the Western semifinal games. Obviously, Seattle will be taking on the LA Galaxy. Who do you have winning this series? And kind of give us some quick thoughts.
Yeah,
on the West.
I did a little research for this last night for my work, so I was looking through all the stats and stuff like that, and so it seems pretty clear cut that the Galaxy are gonna get this. Peck and Puig are now tied for goal contributions as a duo with Suarez and Messi on the year. And they have the most goals this playoff so far.
Didn't Suarez and Messi play way less games?
Yeah. But it's Suarez and Messi. Think about it, name-wise.
True.
And those are two other people on LA Galaxy who are just scoring through the roof too.
Exactly. So yeah, their whole front three had a brace each, and
so you heard it here first. Seattle moving on to the MLS Cup final. We're all in agreement on that, so that's great.
Yeah,
glad we could be unanimous.
Yeah, but
hey Alex, how'd that Bobby Portis play work out last night?
You guys convinced me to do it. Kuzma was a good play. I don't know if what's his name is in here, but he was hating, and Kuzma actually was a good play. But, yeah.
Actually, to be fair, Bobby Portis is all Bob's fault. It was either Bob,
we convinced him. He asked us.
Yeah, no. When reality, the play was Dame the entire time, dropping 60.
Yep, exactly.
Good Lord. Boston, see, someone has to hold us accountable. Shout out to Boston Sean for holding us accountable. Love to hear it.
Oh, also, you guys are talking about keepers for DC. Tim Melia doesn't have a club.
Oh, no. That's right.
Can we stop signing 40-year-old average MLS keepers?
Whoa,
you're gonna sign
penalty save percentage of in MLS.
If you're gonna sign an average keeper, make him 27. So maybe he gets better. Come on.
No, you get Melia or Clark. Good luck.
No. We already.
There you go. We're just gonna keep reshuffle.
We already did that.
Exactly.
We did that.
Hey man, the bad teams can keep trading bad players, and the good teams will be over here fighting for cups. Okay, that's how we're gonna do this. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody from Boston, Sean. Enjoy Champions League, all that good stuff. Alex, while I got you here, since I don't know how long I got you here, we're gonna move on to the East.
Few more minutes. Yeah.
Talk to me about this New York series, Red Bulls, New York City. I think the last time we talked, everyone said the NYC was going to win this, and I said no. So, dude, the Red Bulls, they're on fire right now. Who needs Forsberg when you have Dante Van Zier? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say, what did you see from this game?
It's weird because, like, if you look throughout the season, Red Bulls didn't really just lose games. They more drew. They had, like, easily the most draws during the season. And so now they're just turning those draws into wins. And it was obviously a rivalry, so they needed to step it up, and they did, even though their two probably, like, biggest names didn't get any goal contributions. I mean, Tolkien did well. And they kept a clean sheet against New York City Attack, which has been really good this year, especially recently with, well, I don't know how many goals Martinez has in the last 15 games, but I think it's over 10. Santi's cooled down a little bit. And although he had a good game here, it just wasn't enough. And so, yeah, it was a Red Bulls victory, and it's going to be weird because now one of the finalists is going to be either Orlando City or New York Red Bulls, and I don't think a lot of people would have predicted that at the beginning of the playoffs.
Nope.
Basically nobody. Basically nobody.
Yeah, let's be real. Nobody had this happening.
Didn't you have Orlando in your bracket going through to the final?
Yes. But
Well,
ain't nobody had Red Bull beating Columbus. I might be one of the few hundred people in Orlando was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make the final. We're always gonna make the final, of course. Chris, was this the classic MLS case of NYCFC got too hot a little too early and they kind of just crashed out of the playoffs because all that firing attacking power, the Alonso Martinez and the Santi and the Maxi didn't even really show up. Did they get a little hot too soon? I mean, they're load a little early.
You can kind of throw all that stuff out when you get into a rivalry game. Like it's a whole different game. Like the matchups are completely different. The two teams know each other so well. Like this isn't like Columbus Red Bulls where you're playing once or twice a year. This is like you watch every game that the other team plays, you know, like you know exactly what they're doing all the time.
Sometimes you even share a stadium.
I mean, was this game at Red Bulls or was it at City? You know, like who was the home team even? I mean, they definitely had a plan to kind of shut down the attack. And I mean, that's Red Bulls. They just create chaos, and it's difficult to deal with when they're doing their thing and when they're really really high level. I will say, like, Daniel Edelman is just stupid good in midfield. Like I love Daniel Edelman. He didn't have a great score, but my God, crazy.
He's one of those good in real life, not good on Sorare guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would never play him in a Sorare competition, but like his 45 is like dominating the game. It's insane.
Well, that's the thing. Like Edelman he's that like defensive mid that could rack up AA, but he never gets those decisives to put it on top. Like in the middle of the year, he was flying. Like the summer was great for him. And then obviously the Red Bulls kind of tailed off a little bit at the end of the season too. I mean, they won the last 3, or this is the playoffs, and then going into the playoffs, man, they had 1 win in
they were ice cold
11 games.
But the fun part is that was like 2 months ago. So that's how long the playoffs are. Like you were talking about New York City getting hot too early, and like kinda, but like that's kind of MLS's fault for having playoffs that stretch for 3 months, you know?
Oh, and an international break before the playoffs start, and then an international break after the first 3-round 4-week. Yeah.
Exactly. Like between the end of the season and round 2, it's been like 2 months, 2 full months, you know?
Yeah.
Like you almost got to go schedule international friendlies.
Yeah. You almost kind of have to, don't you?
Alex is on the move. We're getting half court shot. Half court shot for $50K. Is that what you're doing? Is Pat?
No, I think they give away like a stay at a resort.
There you go.
Something like that. Damn, they almost made it last time. It rimmed out.
Not to get too far off topic here, but so the Orlando Magic did a half court shot giveaway, and the kid made it. I didn't realize that Orlando only gave him a signed Franz jersey for making. I
saw that on Twitter. That's so funny.
I was like, bro, really? You make a half-court shot in front of a sold-out stadium, and all you get is a freaking signed jersey?
Half-court shots aren't that hard to make.
For a freaking fan?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, a fan could be anybody, though. Like, a fan could be, like, a D1 basketball player, you know? Like,
sure.
You don't know who
the odds. What are the odds?
I mean, sure, if it's some random like 12-year-old that you're pulling out of the stands, they're not gonna make it. But like, I mean, you can practice half-court shots. It's not that hard.
Bro,
You got to know ahead of time that you're
At
doing it,
least
right?
give the kid free Disney tickets, bro. They probably get it for free. They probably have a stack they don't even use. I'm just saying, man, you make a half-court shot at a halftime at a freaking NBA game. All right, they make a lot of money, and all they could do is a signed jersey. Awful stuff.
I'm the only person in the arena now.
Ooh,
So much freedom.
yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with all this freedom?
Probably go get lunch.
No, nice. Yeah. I'm
Good
starving.
idea.
Yep.
Good idea.
Speaking of, but do we have anything else on this Red Bull NYCFC game? Obviously, not the ending NYCFC fans wanted. Shout out to our boy Jay Blaze. I'm sure that one was a tough watch, but hey, they had a up and down. It was an up and down. I can't even say it was a great season because they were all over the place. They were a roller coaster of a team this year, and then the Red Bulls getting hot at the right time. They have some funky pieces, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Red Bulls have historically not ever been a good matchup for Orlando City.
And they're also beating that playoff thing of where they're always in and out. One
Right.
game, one series, get out.
They've almost won more games than they have in their entire history of the playoffs. Like
in this one
they've sucked in the playoffs, and they've always made the playoffs. Like they've like the longest streak in at least the MLS. I don't know about professional sports, but like they've been in the playoffs since like 2009, something like that. It's crazy.
I don't
I think they
they've
missed it
the
once.
playoffs
I think they missed it once. Yeah.
and that
It
was
was like 2020.
recently. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like recently. So, hey, man, I got good for them, I guess. But before we get into the next matchup, let's talk about Orlando City 1-0 to Atlanta United. They will be facing the Red Bulls on Saturday. Whoo! Squeaky bumhole time for sure. Orlando City doing the Orlando City thing, only winning by 1 goal and trying to hold the win. Poppy ball at its finest, but I guess it works in the playoffs, right? Get your goal and then just defend like crazy.
That's all you need.
I mean, that's all you. I did. I was listening.
Best of luck against the LA Galaxy doing that, but
dude, I know.
that's all you need.
8-1.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, we wanted to see Orlando come out and kill Atlanta and blah 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 blah," and like this, and it's like disappointing that they only won 1-0. And I was like, "Do you guys not know Oscar Pareja?"
In advance, man. Like you're still in it. Atlanta's not. Like you're good.
But I was like, "Have you not watched this team under Oscar Pareja for 5 years? That's what we do. We go 1-0." And then just defend with our lives and hope to God they don't get something in the box at the end. And that's literally been the entire game plan for 5 years. And now you guys want to be like, oh, they didn't kill Atlanta, so what the heck's going on?
You want to know why Atlanta's in the playoffs? Because you guys went up 1-0 and then couldn't hold the freaking lead. Yeah. So that's the reason DC's not playing in that game instead of Atlanta. So I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. That is our game plan. But no, dude, we dominated this game. Atlanta really didn't have much going on. I don't even think they had a shot registered on goal in this game, to be honest. It was all Orlando doing the same Orlando thing, just pinning them back and just swinging in a bunch of half-ass crosses and half chances and missing the target and hitting it right at the keeper. The things that I complain about week in and week out about this Orlando City team, but it doesn't matter, baby, because we are going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time. I do want to say exciting stuff. One of these two teams is going to make the finals for the first time. So neither of these teams have been here.
And both teams have been playoff teams. Like both teams have kind of been in and around it. And yeah, somebody's going to get their shot. So.
Against the LA Galaxy.
Someone's going to get obliterated in the final, but welcome to the MLS Cup final, I guess.
And also, neither team will host. That's another thing. It will be
in
either Seattle or LA.
Which sucks because I wanted to go to MLS Cup, and now I can't.
You'll go. If it's Orlando, you better go.
Yeah, you kind of have to go if it's Orlando.
Are y'all going to start a GoFundMe to help me get out there? Because traveling to LA in December.
Just Podium.
Yeah.
Podium.
Just Podium.
Right.
Podium and then sell it, and then there you go.
Exactly.
All right, so my in-season Orlando City stack podiums this weekend against Red Bulls to make the final, and with that cash, I go to the final.
You buy an LA Galaxy stack.
You can't actually skip the final if it's Orlando. Like you're
100%.
Never gonna forgive yourself.
I still was mad that I didn't go to the Open Cup final this year, but obviously,
dude. Trust me, we're not even in the final yet, and I'm already thinking, I was like, how the hell do I get to California? I was like, how? I was like, how am I gonna manage to get out to the West Coast this
Can you
year?
drive? Just drive out there.
Oh yeah,
Take like a week and just drive.
just take a boat around the side.
No, my vacation's at the end of the month. I won't. I already have vacation this month, so.
Lucky.
Can you parachute?
That's
Yeah,
not.
I
a
did go
bad idea.
skydiving last
Like
year.
if you get really high in a plane, you just jump out of it and then just glide the whole way. You know what I mean?
I would absolutely do that 100%.
Like a squirrel.
I would do that. I went skydiving, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since.
You can take a dragon over there. Just find a dragon.
All right, now you guys are going
Let's
too far.
be realistic. Come on.
Yeah, dude. A dragon-shaped
All right, I think I have to
parachute,
go.
bro.
I'm getting called.
Okay, Alex.
Hi, Mom.
Thanks for showing up.
I've got to
Mom.
go. But
Okay, bye.
Orlando
Mom.
will win the final. Mark my words.
Oh, that is right. Don't say anything else before you spoil it. There you go.
Yeesh.
Thanks for Alex for showing up. Dude, I don't know. He
What a
said
nice
Orlando
course
State.
that is, huh?
Right.
Love to see that.
Makes me want to go to a college basketball game. I haven't been to a college basketball game in a minute.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to it. No. I went to one, actually.
There you go. Does Orlando City really have a shot? Like, someone walk me off this ledge here, like, talk some sense into me. Like, realistically here.
What do you mean? Do they have a shot? They're the favorite. What are we talking about?
I don't know, man. People think that Red Bulls are going to come in here and just, like, step on our throats and just, like, put us to bed. Like, they which I can kind of see how. Look,
You're the home
if
team. You're always the favorite. If you're the
okay,
home
that doesn't matter. Orlando's,
It does.
it's not, we have a better away record than we have a home record, all right?
Yeah,
Let's be
but
real.
does New York Red Bulls have a better away record than they have a home record?
True.
I mean, I guess in the playoffs they do, but
Here's my fear. That the Red Bulls do Red Bull things.
Yeah.
And they score in
will.
like the first 20 minutes. If they get that
the
first goal,
the first goal decides.
we're screwed.
Yeah.
Because anytime Orlando City has gone down in a match and they open themselves up, two things happen. We either win the game late, usually in stoppage time, or we get pummeled like 4-0, 5-0. DC has done it to us. Miami did it to us. Philly has done it to us. Like, it's one of those things where, like, if we go down, like, especially we go down 2 goals, when we open ourselves up, listen, I love Janssen. He's a dog. Schlegel, thank God Schlegel finally grew up after a couple years. He's been solid this year. They're still not the fastest,
No.
right? And if they get caught out of position,
No.
sayonara.
They're getting smoked. They are
getting
not
smoked.
built for counterattack defense. That is not
Lewis Morgan, John
And that's
Tolkien, and Forsberg running at our back line
right.
on a bad turnover, we're cooked. That is my fear.
They're gonna score 2 goals off of that one break.
Yes,
That's how bad it's gonna be.
literally. That
Oh,
is my
man.
biggest fear. Is the first goal is going to be so important in this game.
Yeah.
I
I kind of think it's a 1-0 win one way or the other.
Really, I think it's a 2-1. I think both teams score, and I think, well, obviously, I think Orlando wins it 2-1.
So do you think it's Orlando scores, Red Bull score, Orlando scores, or do you think it's Orlando, Red Bull? You think it's Orlando, Red Bull, Orlando?
I think it's
that's
Orlando,
very
Red Bull,
important.
Orlando.
Okay.
I think we score, we hold on. I think they get the momentum from that goal, and we probably concede a goal within like minutes after that first goal. And then it's like a stalemate till the end of the match, and they're just like throwing everything at it. Like, that is because that's what we've seen all year. It's like if we do score early, we sit around, and then we have to fight back at the end of the game because we've conceded and they've tied it up. Like, that is how it always happens. So yeah, I definitely do see like a 2-1 Orlando. Hopefully, but yeah, that first goal is the most important thing in this game. As long as we can keep Red Bull from scoring, even in the first half, if we go into like the first half 0-0, 1-0, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel pretty good.
Oh God, 21-19 on pens. I would die. I would literally have a heart attack in the stands. I would, my poor little heart would not be able to handle that. Ugh. God, could you imagine if the Eastern Conference Final came down to penalties?
Oh yeah, I absolutely can. That's a very realistic possibility in this game.
1-1 penalties. Oh,
or just 0-0 penalties.
Like, I honestly don't think I'd be able to be in the building for that. I literally, my anxiety would just like
just want to walk out.
I would just leave and be like, no, dude,
done.
I can't.
I'm done with this.
My health cannot handle this shootout. in the Eastern Conference Final right now. Yeah, we'll see. We make the final. I might try to make my way out there. Gayese gets sent off, and you know what happens next? That's right. The hand of Godrigo, baby.
Schlegel's on the bench, and he can't come in. Oh, no.
Yeah, Schlegel gets a red card earlier in that game. Oof. It's like, oh, no. There goes our backup goalkeeper. Dude, it'll be interesting, though. Oh, hello. That's just me. Hello.
What?
Hello.
What did I do? I didn't even say anything. I'm sorry.
Well, that's why you weren't saying anything, so I had to take you off.
So how many red cards? Over under 3.5 red cards in this game?
Over 1.5.
This is going to be a very physical game.
It's gonna be scrappy.
Yeah. It's gonna be who has the bigger dog in them. You know.
Oh, that would be Orlando. Hands down.
I don't know, bro.
If you put these two teams together, like
built
I
on
think
being
the.
dogs.
Do you know how many South Americans we have on our team? Okay, you're gonna tell me that someone on New York Red Bulls is gonna outdog Cesar Araujo and Wilder Cartagena? I don't think so, bro.
Don't mess with Daniel Edelman. Don't mess with him.
Oh, that's it. Well, I was thinking about that today, actually. When I was looking through this game, I was like, this game will come down to the midfield, I think. Because I think, the wing backs, like the wings, like, dude, there's quality on both sides going up and down the field. It's just who doesn't get caught out. But it's going to be one in the midfield. Like, do you want Wilder and Araujo over there? Or do you want Edelman and Forsberg? And, like, it starts to get a little weird. But it'll be fun. It will be fun. Anything else you got for these playoffs? We kind of ran through that. We have our Eastern Conference final set. I was trying to pull up a bracket, but the website ain't loading. Oh, there you go. There we go. Got it.
Of the teams that have been knocked out so far, who had a successful season overall?
Ooh.
Coming into the season. Like, who exceeded their expectations?
From the playoff teams?
Yeah.
Who exceeded their
if anybody missed the playoffs, I would say they didn't hit their expectations, you know?
That's
like
true.
Everybody should be at least make the playoffs.
I think Colorado making the playoffs, even though they kind of got destroyed by LA Galaxy. One, it was LA Galaxy. Two, Colorado just got played with injuries at the wrong time of the year. But if you remember Colorado from last year going into this year, and the things that they accomplished, like the first half of the season, like Colorado was like, whoa, one of the top teams in the West. We were like, wait, hold on. Like, who is this Colorado team? So I think Colorado being a little successful. Minnesota, they've kind of been middle of the park for a couple years now. RSL, even though they got to the playoffs, like, the vibes are bad in RSL. Houston, vibes are really bad now. I think just Colorado in the West, I think. Everybody else,
like Houston at the beginning of the season, did we think they'd make the playoffs?
They won the Open Cup last year. Why not?
Yeah, but like, I guess that is kind of their expectation, is just make the playoffs.
Right. They were going to top the West, but
right.
They should have been in the. I think it's Colorado to me, to be honest.
Do you think Colorado was the team that shouldn't have made the playoffs that did, basically?
Going into the season? Yeah.
Pre-season. Yeah. Okay. All right. What about the East?
Yeah. Yeah. See, Mike says it too. The Colorado was getting very Chicago-like. It was getting really grim for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Chicago is still Chicago-like.
Yeah. On the East, I mean, Montreal getting to where they did. Atlanta, let's be real. The dream run that, like, you can't deny that Atlanta.
At the beginning of the season, Atlanta had Almada and Giakoumakis.
And then they didn't.
And then they didn't in the summer, but like preseason, their expectations were like be a contender in the East. And yeah, they got to the semifinal. Like, I guess that's pretty good, but they also needed help to get into the playoffs in general.
Right.
Like, I don't think if you ask an Atlanta fan preseason, like, hey, would you be cool with like sliding into the playoffs as the 9 seed and then like getting a couple upsets and getting to the semi? Like, I don't know that they would take that. I think they would want a little bit more from their season going in. Now, in the summer, that's a whole different story because you're in like last place and you have no talent. So like from the summer on, I think they overachieved. But like preseason, they had a lot of pieces. A lot of people think they were going to be pretty good.
No, I think you're right. I guess I didn't really think about it that far. I was just caught in the magical run, baby. I was like, oh yeah, dude, this is great. No, I do agree because at the beginning of the season, even I was high on Atlanta, and it takes a lot for me to say nice things about Atlanta United. And going into the season, I was like, ooh, I don't know. They're finally looking like the Atlanta of old, and it didn't quite work out for them. But yeah, do you know? And I don't know. I don't remember if we had this conversation already. I have too many conversations. That we were there for Atlanta's turnaround.
Yeah.
When we went to Atlanta and watched them get destroyed by Nashville, who was also very bad, 2-0. Ever since then, they went on this magical run. Like from Orlando, I had to fly to Atlanta to watch them lose to turn their season around. I literally flew to Atlanta to watch my rival lose.
I'm gonna get you an Atlanta hat. You're a bigger Atlanta fan than you are Orlando.
No, dude. I will travel to watch Atlanta lose. That's how much I hate Atlanta. Okay, I will go out of my way to pay money to watch them lose.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Moranchuk signing was pretty big for Atlanta, even though he didn't really.
But they had him for a while.
He didn't box score produce. Yeah, I mean, he came in the summer. Like he didn't really score goals or anything. Like he had that one nice little worldie with his left foot outside of the box. But outside of that, he did kind of solidify the midfield though. It's one of those not really going to see it on the box sheet, the box score, but he was definitely impactful in that midfield. But dang, not Atlanta, huh? Montreal making the play-in? Not really.
Yeah, I think my two for the teams eliminated so far. My two would be Charlotte and Montreal. I think Charlotte getting a 5 seed. Now, losing in the first round, I think, was probably not great.
Not great.
But I think Charlotte would have been one of the lower teams in the preseason. And kind of exceeding expectations to just make the playoffs was kind of like, hey, that's a pretty good season if we can make the playoffs. And they were the 5 seed. So I think for them for sure. And then Montreal, I figured they would be dead last, maybe outside of Chicago. And
you were real down on them.
So yeah, I mean, kudos to them. I didn't think they had a chance in hell at making the playoffs, but they
Montreal's
did.
Going to be awesome next year.
And they only just lost on PKs. So
yeah,
I mean,
Joseph Martinez almost put the dagger in Atlanta's dream run. And then we would have gotten the revenge Joseph Martinez game against Miami. That's what I had chalked. In my mind, I was like, look, Joseph Martinez is going to take down Atlanta, going to take down Miami, not take down Orlando, obviously.
I don't know.
You would have tried.
Montreal isn't getting Raheem Edwards back. They're not getting Corbo back. They're not getting
Joseph back.
Like, got a lot of people that they're not.
Watch out for Atlanta when Joseph Martinez comes back to Atlanta. Yeah, Mike, they were definitely, they had a little bit more more direction, and then put Saba in there who turned it up at the end of the season. Because yeah, like he had Mayumba in the midfield and Schleich, and like they're good players, but like they didn't have enough progressive passes going forward. Like it would just die in the midfield, and like that was that. But yeah, I do agree. Moranchuk definitely unlocked it a little bit more. But yeah, I agree. Probably Montreal probably had the better season out of the teams that have been eliminated.
Yeah,
had the best. Even if the say it was left, an okay season.
Even if the teams left, like Galaxy and Seattle would have probably expected to be here at this point.
Oh no, Galaxy?
Yeah.
I guess no. Actually, we got to talk about that a little bit. I didn't even think about that, dude.
I mean,
LA Galaxy literally boycotted the team and left, and like supporter groups stopped going. They had empty stands to get the front office out. Like the LA Galaxy from last year going into this year.
That's true, but he said like, just wait, we're gonna be okay. And did he quit? Didn't he quit mid-season? Didn't the president quit?
Yeah. After like the supporters like rioted,
but it didn't matter,
forced him out.
He was still like kind of right, you know?
Yeah. But like going into this, okay, let's be real. I don't think any of us saw Peck and Paintsill doing what they did. I think we all saw quality.
Not to this level.
We knew that they would.
The question was always the defense,
but not this. Yeah,
right. The question was always the defense, but it doesn't matter if you score 6 goals. It doesn't matter how bad your defense is because you just outscore everybody, and that's fine.
And that's what they've done all year.
So yeah, I mean, I think this was. I don't know. I feel like if you really asked Galaxy people about expectations, I feel like they would have said we're gonna have a really good offense and we're gonna have a chance when we get to the playoffs. And I don't know. Maybe it's slightly above expectations, but
Slightly, yeah.
But realistically, like I would have expected the Galaxy to win a playoff game at least at the beginning of the season. And yeah, they've won 2, but
Maybe.
But I think they're pretty close. Like now, winning MLS Cup, that would be exceeding expectations for sure. I don't think they would have been favorites for that.
In the first year of a rebuild, yeah.
Right. But yeah, and then Seattle. I mean, I think Seattle. They would always expect to be at least in the conference final.
Yeah, as long as they make the playoffs, you're like, yeah, they could go on a run.
Orlando, kind of the same thing. Like they will always expect to be in the playoffs and competing and like winning a game or two. And I think this is about the expectation level and like anything from here is exceeding. And then Red Bulls, I don't think you ever expect to win a playoff game. So I guess they're happy, but
they're just happy to be here. I don't know.
They're just vibing. They're just like, hey, cool. If we win, great. If not, man, we had a great season anyway.
Yeah, it's been a wild season, man. Up
the interesting one is LAFC. Did LAFC exceed expectations, winning a trophy, finishing number 1 in the West, but not winning the MLS Cup?
I mean, okay, going into this trophy, going into the Open Cup, they lost like 4 finals in a row. So I think they're just happy to finally get one over the line and like, look, we got the trophy, all right. Whatever else happens, we didn't lose another final. I think that's a win. They checked off a box somewhere. Somewhere in that locker room is like, stop losing finals, and they finally got to take that one off the board.
Yeah, I agree.
But those teams are tough, right? Because like in those big markets, big spend, big front offices, like I feel like their expectation is always to win the whole thing. You're not always going to hit on every player. Sometimes you're going to whiff, and sometimes it's not going to work out. And you could have slots on and still not win an MLS Cup playoffs game. So you could have Messi and not even make it out of the first round. That's MLS, baby. That's
Messi
what we do.
And Suarez and Alba and Busquets.
You could have Barcelona
knocked out by Brad Guzan's baldness. Oh my god!
Realistically,
I love MLS. So
God, this league is so freaking good, man. All you haters, keep hating. Anybody else, let's just have some fun, baby. Because that's all life is. We're just here for a good time, not a long time, and I guess Champions League football too. I hope everybody's still having fun. Anyway, Chris, you got to go do family. You driving? Is that what you're doing? You going out?
Flying.
Oh, you're flying for once? Wow.
Yeah, we're flying because we're flying to Mexico. So.
Oh, this is like the whole big enchilada.
Yeah, I won't be back for like 2 weeks.
Oh, good. Congratulations, man. You need it. You need that break.
Yes, I do. We'll be playing some NBA over the break. We'll see how it's right.
That's right, baby. That's what I like to hear.
I'd like to lose some more money to Sorare, so I'm going to play another sport.
Yes. This is the way. This is the only way.
This is the way.
Yo, shout out to everybody who's been here hanging out in the chat. My Bass and Boston Sean, Alex for popping in. Yo, MLS Cup playoffs have been crazy, have been insane, have been wild. I haven't even really brought it up, but probably not great for your Sorare teams. Oh, boy. These games have just been all over the place. But shout out to everybody who checked this out. Enjoy the conference finals this weekend. LA Galaxy versus Seattle and Orlando, New York Red Bulls. Enjoy the games this weekend, and MLS is almost over. And then we'll get into all the fun off-season content.
3 more games left.
Oh, dude. Three more. What a season. It's been great. Mike Baston, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving for those who celebrate. If not, go eat your weight in turkey anyway. You don't need a special day to do that. It's just a good time to eat turkey and pass out for 6 hours.
Amen.
And everybody's like, oh, you ate too much turkey. But it's like, secretly, I just drank too much. But yes, let's blame the turkey. Let's go. I love midday day drunk naps. Blame it on the turkey.
Blame it on the turkey.
Blame it on the turkey, baby. Let's go. Yo, shout out. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the holidays if you do. We'll be back next week with an MLS recap, more NBA content, and maybe some more surprises. I don't know. Let's get a little feisty.
We'll see. Hi, Mom. I'm coming.
Oh, there you go.